I'm going to talk about starting out in the Wi-Fi industry, and I'm hoping that this can be somewhat of a discussion, in terms of the different ways to do it and all that kind of stuff. So let me just start with kind of my journey, and I guess we can go from there. So I started out, my journey in networking started at Syracuse University, where you might find a Lee Badman if you ever go. So I came to Syracuse thinking, hey, I want to go into television. They have a strong communication school, and so I started enrolled in the communication school, and I was happy with what was going on there. But then I joined the campus TV station, and there was a lot of networking and system administration involved in the TV station. I'm like, well, I kind of like this stuff. So by the end of freshman year, I had also enrolled in the information school, and started a dual degree between the two schools, and that's kind of how I got started in my very first interest in networking. There's an intro to networking class. Professor's name I think was Bill Gibbons, and I think he retired a couple years ago, but he was very enthusiastic and old school, and it was his energy towards networking was I would say was infectious, and combine all that kind of stuff, and this could be kind of fun. And so go through Syracuse, and I get to senior year, not really sure what I want to do, whether I want to go the TV route or whether I want to go the networking route. So I'm like, maybe I can do something with both. So I decided to stick around for another 2 years and go to grad school. And so when I got to grad school, there's a telecommunications and network management degree, and that was a great experience. So to kind of help pay for grad school, I continued my TV path, and I was a camera guy for the athletic department, and that was a lot of fun, but it wasn't really it wasn't networking, it wasn't and specifically it wasn't Wi-Fi, and I didn't realize that I really enjoyed Wi-Fi until a particular class with a professor named Dave Malta. He has a wireless class, and it's kind of like an intro to Wi-Fi, but it's really hands-on, and so in that class was able to do a lot of projects and hands-on kind of stuff, and one of the very first projects was we made a video on co-channel and adjacent channel interference. Which one is has a worse effect. Anybody know?
ACI.
That's right. Because when you're on the same channel, it treats it as Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi is better than noise. So that was kind of my very first Wi-Fi project, and from there, like, yeah, all right, yeah, I like this. And so graduation came around, and had the choice of going into at Cisco, I'd go into TAC or join the Wi-Fi group. And so. I didn't really.
Sounds like there's a story behind that.
Well, I didn't really have. I was at that point. I still didn't know exactly which direction I wanted to go, and decided to go Wi-Fi. I thought it was more. The Wi-Fi industry was rapidly changing, and I thought it'd just be more exciting, and I think that was a good choice for me, and so. I've joined Cisco. I'm going on 4 years now, and they put me in Ohio. It's outside of Cleveland. it's a great area. It's just cold in the winter, much like Syracuse, and we had snow last week. Very disappointing. But we have a facility in Ohio. It's, much of the access point development for Cisco happens in Ohio, but we have an over-the-air kind of test facility, and so that's that's the whole reason I'm in Ohio, and this chart just kind of shows the evolution of where we started. We got a building. It's an office building, and we started with we put laptops on trash cans. That's the very first when we first moved in the building. And we went out and bought some folding tables and bought a couple more clients. And now we have a little bit nicer tables and some tablecloths and a few more clients. I think we have in this one particular test bed. I think we're probably up to 150 or so. But it's been a great kind of journey and learning experience. I would say when I joined Cisco, I was not necessarily hired for my Wi-Fi knowledge, which was low, but more eager to learn and eager to grow. And having this facility is a great way to learn. Fortunate to be able to work with customers, some large deployments and Cisco Lives and Mobile World Congresses, and it's been a very I think I've learned an incredible amount in the past 4 years.
So let me interrupt you. How did you find the job, or how did the job find you specifically? You got to the point where you're finishing up school, you need to go to work.
Yep.
How did you get wind of this position?
So this position, so my manager is a Syracuse alum, and he's keen. He likes to hire Syracuse guys, and. I'm a Syracuse guy. There just happened to be an opening. I would say it was luck that there was an opening. So there haven't been very many since, and it was kind of networking, people networking. You make contact, meet whoever, and then there just happened to be a position.
Did you know him in school? I mean,
no.
Okay.
He was. He had graduated a couple of years before.
That's what you're saying. It's all about where you go to school. That's what I'm getting there.
No, I don't.
So if you don't go to Syracuse, you're out of the loop there.
No, I think.
Know where your boss went to school.
The point I'm trying to make is, it was because of the. I had some experience in Wi-Fi. I think that I think it's very important to have, if you're just starting out, and you're inexperienced, you need something to show that, hey, I could probably do something, I could probably be useful for you. So I think, having some sort of, whether it's a YouTube video or a blog, somewhere where you post your ideas or show your how you can communicate technical concepts, or just somewhere to show you off. It's for an employer, it's tough to, hey, I see that guy's resume, I see that guy's resume, they look very similar, but then you see, oh, he made this video or has this blog, and oh yeah, what he put on the blog actually makes sense. I learned something from that. So I think just having doing projects on your own, or whether it's in school or out of school, just showing off what you can do is very important.
But, it's one thing to say, go get a blog or go put yourself out on YouTube or make a video or whatever. Yeah. But there's a lot of folks that I talk to that are afraid to take that step. What advice would you give the people who don't want to put them, or are afraid to put themselves out? Fear of being wrong.
I mean, I think you just got to do it. You can search this video. I'm sure.
It's already been put on Twitter.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you post it there?
No, I didn't. I think.
Oh, I should have checked the hick.
Oh man, that's embarrassing. Yes.
Oh, there it is. Retweet. 5,000 more. There you go.
I mean, this is a couple years ago now. I'm embarrassed by the video. It's, I don't think I have a great presence or presenting presence or on videos, and it's, but you just got to do it. I think at some point you have to put yourself out there because that's what you're going to do in a job, right? If you can't put yourself out there, then how are you going to do some sort of job where you're deploying a network or something like that.
Wes, can you talk a little bit more on the evolution of that lab testing facility a little bit? Because I think, Sam and I have been there. We use that. If it looks familiar to some folks, that's where we did our AP 2700 testing, our RxSOP testing, and there is another testing that is going to be published here soon too. Wow, look at that. All right then.
Nice segue.
Yeah, well timed.
Not even
very
planned.
Yeah, so this facility is, it started very basic, right? And we've kind of grown it, and we use it for a lot of internal and external projects. It's for us, it's very important to. It's one of the more realistic, real world test environments that we have. It's all real clients. There's half the building is cubicles, and we're just trying to replicate different environments. But it's really a great learning environment for me, because you have to deploy the network. You have to figure out, hey, this probably isn't going to work so well, or figure out why it doesn't work. But it's been used for a lot of fun things like no strings attached show projects and like the AP 2700. And most recently, we have a hyperlocation report that will come out in some point whenever
Soon.
it gets finished.
Next week. Don't put pressure on me.
But
So the real world testing scenarios were always intriguing to me because it's sort of a vendor sponsored proving ground, if you will. How much of your work is and I guess I'm asking you to beat up on Cisco. How much of your work is shoveling back to devs or product management? Hey, this doesn't work, or hey, this needs to be fixed. In the proving grounds, it seems like you would run across more things than just a one AP hanging on a wall somewhere.
Yeah. So it's a lot of a lot of that. So what happens? It goes both ways, right? So. If we test something and it comes out, hey, this works, hey, let's show it off. If we test it, and when things don't work, we go back and say, hey, please fix, please. But it's a two-way street, and I think that it's extremely valuable in that sense. We're trying to do, we do a lot of single AP stuff. We try to do multi-AP stuff, roaming, RRM. You heard from Jim yesterday, and we did a whole bunch of flexible radio assignment testing, in the past month, and we're just coming out with the AP 3800, so it's been a lot of back and forth with that. Yes.
Quick question, just from a personal work factor, how exciting is it to get early access to all the cool stuff that's coming out and test and stuff like that?
Oh, it's awesome. It's early access to products, and our products, and then buying phones or client devices as soon as they come out. So both are very exciting to me, and sometimes maybe we get our stuff too early. But that's to be expected with any sort of product development, right? It's it takes a little bit to get to prime time, and but it's exciting, watching the journey to see where it comes from to the final product.
Now, along those lines too, what have you had to learn, or what training have you gotten that's taken you from being brand new to being able to, okay, now this is my lab, this is what I do.
Yeah.
How has that been for you as far as OJT and formal training? What have you had to, what's that look like in the quick version?
So it's it's a lot of learning on the job, but also getting mentored by people that know what they're doing. Like the gym floor works, and there's a guy that's now retired. His name's Larry Ross. He used to be the voice guy at Cisco, or voice over Wi-Fi. And so it's and Fred Niehaus and others. It's so the mentoring, I think, has probably been the biggest, the way I've learned the most. So it's, we have like a Cisco Live or a Mobile World Congress. Hey, go help deploy that network. Get a lot of hands-on experience in that way. And then also working with customers, to see how they deploy a network. And then figure out what's not working for them, and figuring out how to make it work better. Yes, Keith.
My question was tied onto that mentor thing. As a mentee, you mentioned people who you worked with in your company.
Yep.
If someone's not working for Cisco, any ideas on how they could find a mentor to learn from as well?
Well, I think so. There's maybe two aspects. One is, if you put yourself out there, you've gotten the job. I think finding a senior person within the company would be extremely beneficial. If you haven't gotten the job, I think interacting on social media, reading blogs is a tremendous way to learn. I know I've learned a tremendous amount from all the people in this room, from reading tweets and blogs and that kind of stuff.
Well, and I would task everybody that's in this room to go out and find somebody that needs to be mentored. I mean, there's a reason that we're here, and there's a reason that people look up to us collectively. And if you're not helping enable the next generation, and that's not an age reference, right? If you're not helping enable the up-and-coming folks who are doing Wi-Fi, then what are you doing?
Well, I think I can speak to that. I mean, 2 years ago, I was working at a wireless ISP going, well, we could just put APs down the hallway, in this hotel, do this and that. Stumble across a few guys' blogs, get on Twitter, a little help from, the NSA show with that contest. I'm still really in my day job an IT generalist, but I know where I want to focus. And it's a passion, and so, I've learned things from all these guys at this table in the last 2 years, and it's, got me here. Which is awesome.
Yeah, I think if you're having trouble finding a mentor, it's you take the collective knowledge of people around you, or whether it's physical interactions or online. I think both are extremely valuable.
Yeah.
There was a question I saw on Twitter from Wi-Fi Luke. What's your ceiling tile budget?
There just happens to be extras floating around. We actually, I don't think they're in these pictures.
Do you go through a lot? You do a lot of reconfiguration?
Yeah, I mean, we'll put mounting brackets, in tile mounting brackets, also to test. Different customers have, believe it or not, we've come across customers that have metal ceilings, so we'll put in metal, ceiling tiles to see how, if that affects anything. We were most interested in the hyperlocation product, and it didn't actually make a difference, which was good. Funny question.
So Wes, how long have you been with Cisco now?
It's going on 4 years.
Okay, and knowing a little bit about, the other people that have come out of SU, not that it's an SU discussion, but we put out a lot of people that have gone to Cisco in particularly, and, they've churned out and gone to other companies. What's kept you at Cisco, whereas other people, I know you can't speak for other people, but speculating, what kept you there while others moved on?
Yeah, I would say two things. One is the team and the people that I'm fortunate to work with. It's on our team specifically. It's a great group of people. Everyone is trying to help each other out, and it's all working towards one common goal. And then the second, I think the second aspect is what Andrew brought up is, it's exciting working with, new products and, watching products get designed and built. So both those I think have kept me around.
Do you think being in Ohio versus San Jose had anything to do with it? Like the temptation of all the other companies around?
Very possible, yeah. There aren't as many companies in Ohio. But I would say that's a good point. There hasn't been a reason or really a thought of leaving Cisco. Get treated well and get to work with smart people and exciting products.
Well, and you're the very public face of product development. I mean, to be perfectly frank, right, there's a lot of people that sit behind desks that people don't have access to.
Yep.
And when you're doing things like this in the lab, it becomes very public very fast. And that proving ground position that you're in is got to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean it's
exciting.
It's a challenge
Challenging.
and exciting.
Opportunistic.
Yeah, but it's been an incredible opportunity to learn, and I think I'm very fortunate to have been able to learn and be in this position over the past 4 years.
Now, working for a Silicon Valley company, but being in Ohio, how often do you have to travel back and forth?
Yeah, so that varies. It's usually a few times a year, maybe every month or 2 or 3. But it's certainly different, in Ohio where we're considered a remote office, and so it's much more laid back. And you come to San Jose and it's there's traffic and all the buildings are full. I mean, you guys saw Building 18 yesterday, which is where the wireless offices are. It's beautiful, but it's it's a little more crowded than Ohio. But
And no fancy cappuccino machine.
no, we just have a little Nespresso.
No gummy bears.
They have a train, though.
They have a train.
They do have
We
a
did see
train.
the
I did see
train.
that.
So yeah, I think that I've been on a short journey, right? I'm still relatively new in the Wi-Fi industry, but I think that there's a lot of ways to get in if you're I'm coming from the perspective of a younger person, coming out of school, not someone with a lot of experience, and fortunate to be able to find a role that was looking for somebody to be able to grow. And I don't know if some positions aren't like that. So I would say that if you're new and looking for some sort of role, try to find somewhere that is looking for someone to learn, versus a CCIE or a CWNE, that's looking for somebody to be the senior person.
How much money do you make? Just kidding.
So now that you've been in it for 4 years, do you have career goals that you can talk about? Do you know where you want to be in 5 years?
Yeah, I think my short-ish term, medium-ish term goal is some sort of expert level certification, CCIE or CWNE, and I say I've started studying for CCIE wireless, but that's kind of my next goal. I like designing networks, and so that could be something down the road. Be it working for another company that is WLAN architect or something like that.
Well, if these guys can do it, I'm sure you can do it.
I know.
Hey, yeah, I need to take it by the 25th. So if you and I would like to get together, I'll mentor you if you can mentor me.
All right, well, that's more or less what I had. Any further discussion?
Did you have any kind of generational issues, to put it politely? I mean, was it hard being the new guy at all when you got started?
So I started. So when I started, I started with another guy from Syracuse, and so we came to Ohio. And so for those of you that don't know, Cisco acquired Aranet, which was a company called Telzon, and so it's been a progression of wireless in Ohio. And so many of the people, still at Cisco, have come from Telzon or Aranet. So they had been working together for many, many years. And so there was, we'll say a senior workforce. And so, when we joined, we were the first people to join the engineering office in, probably a year or two, but the youngest, we're the youngest by 10 years. So it was a little bit of a, there were some older people, but they were all great, and I think they like seeing young blood.
One quick question. Aeronet, Aerospace, or Morocco? Go.
Oh, jeez.
Please be more specific.
Go with your favorite.
Well, Aranet, of course.
You have a future in politics.
I may be biased.
Thank you, Senator Purvis.
That's actually one of the things that we get a lot from comments from the Peanut Gallery. How would I get started? And where did you guys come from? And there's always interesting origin stories to some of these people. Syracuse. Apparently, wireless guys come from Syracuse and Ohio.
Well, on that point, Stephen, Wes, how many people do you know that did come out of SU? I mean, ballpark it, obviously, but how many people came out of SU that were within, your graduating class or a year or two?
Yeah.
People that you knew that made it into the WLAN industry. I mean, I can think of at least half a dozen.
I could probably think of a dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably 10 to 15 people.
I don't know what that means. I'm just thinking out loud.
Within the past, 3-4 years, 5 years.
I think it means that they're really, really cold and they don't want to go outside and run cabling.
You're probably onto something there.
Stay in their houses. Yeah, Northeast Ohio, of course, hot spot of wireless, right? Right, Blake, Sam?
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Sure. Totally. Brecksville?
Totally. You got the winking lizard.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're a Northeast Ohioan, right?
Yes, well, that's where I live, indeed. That's right.
I thought it was really cool what Sam did, kind of throwing down the gauntlet and telling everyone to go find someone to mentor. I think that is a fantastic thing. It's something that I think we should all be doing. I have a nonprofit organization that's focused on tech in South Texas, and it's a bunch of nerds who get together, and that's what we do. We give free lessons to people. We teach them. Our tagline is "Building Better Nerds," and we're sponsored by Pizza Hut, and we're sponsored by a local distributor company, and we do free beer and pizza on the first and
Shouldn't
third
Pizza
Thursday.
Hut build better noids?
No, it's fantastic, man. The Noid, avoid the Noid.
You saw what I did there.
But it's really cool because it's like any of us who've done public speaking. The best thing about doing anything in public or mentoring someone is it keeps you on your game. So I totally agree. I mean, go out and find someone in your community that you can help out, and don't be scared, because you're going to learn a lot of stuff just by working with them that you may have forgotten. I had a guy who was asking me about the OSI model, and I haven't looked at the freaking OSI model in years, and please do not take salespeople's advice, right? Isn't that what it is? but it's always fun to go out and to find someone to mentor, because I think it'll really help you out, and it's really rewarding. So I second what you said.
Yeah.